Okay, so this is how to arrange your homework in a way that the students can actually turn in their homework and will be willing to do so without getting themselves frustrated. This is just Springboard. We're just talking about ideas here. This is not a how-to. If you want to get into how-to, come talk to me, talk to your peers. Let's have a little community where we're working, but here's just some ideas. Some of these ideas are mine, some of these ideas are other colleagues, some are research-based, but let's just talk about it. Here we go. First thing, online learning should not be more difficult than what we do in the class. Now, keep in mind, if you were removed from the class, you're sick for a week. Would you expect the same out of your students? What do you need to do to make sure that sub can make sure your students are still learning at the same level? That's what we need to do with distance learning. We are going to have to adjust. I'm not saying dumb it down. I am saying make adjustments so that if you were not in the room, they could do it. We got to give ourselves some credit. We are teachers. We do a good job. We have an important role. When we are removed, we need to make sure that the supports are in place. That's what this this video is. This is how to put those supports in place to make sure the students can be successful when you're not in the room. First of all, no busy work. You don't want to grade it. They don't want to do it. If you only have 90 minutes, busy work needs to leave. You've got to make sure you know what your standards are, really know your standards. So if you need to jump into the PBL class, go for it. But we really, really need to know our standards. We need to limit the amount of homework. Does everything they do and learn need an assignment attached to it? Or can you have an activity, something that they're learning, something they're doing, and then all of a sudden you add tack onto that, those three things, one assignment? Can we limit how much we're expecting them from? Do we need to have 100 problems, or can we limit it to 5? What is needed to show that they have the skill? At the minimum, that's probably what we need to do when it comes to distance learning. We need to limit the amount of time we expect our videos to last. Distance learning research, tons and tons and tons said 10 minutes max. 10 minutes max. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't take a 30-minute video and chop it up into little bite-sized pieces so it's manageable for our students. That's fine, but 10 minutes max. Give clear instructions. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. We need to act like you're not in the room, that there's no parents in the room, and we need to be considering our lowest level students. Let's not skip any steps. Let's not make assumptions. Let's make every single thing very, very clear what it is they need to do. With that, we need to make our expectations are very clear. What's the standard? What's the goal for them to do this assignment? Quite frankly, that's motivating. If they actually know why they have to do this assignment, it helps them to get it done. How long will this assignment take? Putting in a time estimate really does help keep them motivated to keep going. If they get an assignment and they're like, this is going to be 45 minutes, but really it's only going to be 20 minutes, they'll hang in there. They'll finish it. Make it easy to find the homework. I did a survey with my students. 85% said they wanted the homework on the front page. This going into discussions and going into quizzes and going into assignments or going into modules, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to our students. We have to make it simple. 85% said front page. You can have it other places too. Front page for that week's worth of work. Be consistent. What time are you going to post things? When are you going to grade things? When are due dates due? All these things. The more consistent we are, the more the students know what to expect from us, the more they're willing to oblige by what we're expecting out of them. This was a sneaky one. I broke down a huge project that they were working on, and I broke it down into little bite-sized pieces. So on Monday, you tell me what you're working on. On Tuesday, you do your research. On Wednesday, I would break it down into little pieces and made it so that they were not overwhelmed And they had a structure in place to help them get through it. And then I was sneaky. I put in there, I had the feeling most of them were actually reading what the requirements were or what the rubric was. And just before they turned it in, I had them actually report on one of the assignments to read the rubric and tell me what adjustments they had to make before they turned in the assignment. Wow, a lot of the students were like, oh, I didn't actually read it, and now I can see I need to make some adjustments. 25% actually had to go and change some things. So I think sneaking in, saying reading the rubric is part of it, reading the instructions, having some kind of way to check mark, that's something that I want to work on. Yes, check. I actually read the instructions before I did the assignment. Somewhere in there, I think we'll have a better result. That's something that I hope to work on. These are just ideas. If you want to bounce around ideas with me, come on down.